So you have been playing Apex Legends for a while now and have mastered everything from aiming to movement, or so you think. But the only problem is whenever you are fighting an enemy, you always tend to lose the battle because the other player outsmarts you using, you guessed it, grenades. Grenades are available in Apex Legends since the launch of the game and have since been overpowered, but not many people know how to use them. If you are a player who is already really good at the game, or even if you are a beginner who is trying to improve, learning how to use the grenades in battles will surely improve your gameplay and you can win more battles. So if you are excited, then drop a like and subscribe to the channel. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, there are currently three types of grenades available in Apex Legends. They are the Frag Grenades, Arc Stars, and the Thermite Grenades. Coming to the Frag Grenades, Frags are probably the best raw damage grenade. It can deal damages starting from 1 and a maximum of 100 to the enemy, depending on how close the enemy actually is, and it has a maximum blast radius of 9 meters. One of the advantages of using frag grenades is whenever they deal health damage to the enemies, they get pushed back in the direction opposite of the explosion. The amount of distance the enemy gets launched depends on the proximity of the player with respect to the grenade, which means that the closer the player is to the nade, he gets launched farther. One popular trick which you should learn while using frag grenades is vertical nading or sky nading. Since the timer of the grenade starts to count as soon as you throw it, throwing it vertically up at an angle such that it explodes as soon as it comes down. This is quite an advanced technique, but it can be used to deal very high raw damage to players if you know how to use it properly. In order to get the exact trajectory of the throw, you can practice this in the firing range. So you basically practice against the dummies over here while standing at different distances, and you should be able to get the placement right. And also, sky nading is useful if you have enemies above you as well. Another use of the frag grenades is just by rolling the grenades on the floor. These type of grenades are not meant to travel longer distances, but they are used in a more close range battles. For example, if an enemy is below you and is trying to follow you, you can basically roll the grenade down like this, and this will deal a lot of damage to the enemy and also might even knock them off the platform. Also, a benefit to this is that the other player cannot know that you have thrown the grenade or not, because grenades in Apex Legends are only indicated to the other player whenever they are on the same level of elevation or in the view of the enemy. You can also bounce frag grenades off of walls. This is another technique which you can utilize to properly place the grenades. Whenever you are trying to use a grenade in an enclosed area to draw out enemies who are camping or healing, you can bounce the nades off the walls to easily hit them. Coming to the second type of grenade, it is the Arc Star. Arc Stars are probably the best type of grenades in the game and also the most easy to use. It deals 75 damage to the player when hit. On top of this, you can also stick the player with the Arc Star, which deals an additional 10 damage on stick. The Arc Stars, when exploded, will stun and slow the enemies down, which is the best part about the Arc Star, as then you can laser opponents with your weapons. It is also much easier to use than the frag grenade since it does not bounce or roll anywhere, it just gets stuck whenever you throw it, and hence it is a beginner friendly nade as well. Also, another tip to note whenever you are using arc stars to open the door blocked from the other side by the enemy, if the enemy kicks the door down before the explosion of the arc star, then the arc star will just disappear. You can also utilize this technique if someone is trying to use an arc star on the door which you are standing behind. The best ways to use the arc stars is to use two of them. You can either throw two of them near the same location. When this happens, if your first arc star hits the enemies, then they are slowed and are unable to run. So almost certainly your second arc star will hit as well. Also, whenever an enemy is hiding behind a rock, throwing one arc star to the right and one to the left will almost force the enemy to climb up the rock or to get hit by either the left or the right arc star. Before going to the final type of grenade, I will be going over how many grenades you should be carrying in your inventory. At the start of the game, if you are having a grey backpack, I would advise you to carry one grenade, whatever type it may be. And for the blue backpack, I would advise carrying two grenades of different types. And for the purple or the gold backpack, I would advise carrying two of the same type of grenades and one different type of grenade. Finally, coming to the last grenade, which is actually the most underused grenade in Apex Legends, it is the Thermite Grenade. How it works is that you throw this grenade on the ground, and any enemy that walks on the firewall caused by the grenade will be subjected to 4 damage per tick. The minimum damage dealt by the grenade is 24, and it will go higher if the enemies fail to get out of the fire. This grenade is actually quite hard to use. It may look easy at first since you may think it's just placing it on the ground, but actually placing the grenade to damage the player is tough since the grenade expands in a horizontal direction. This nade is best suited whenever you are in an enclosed area to block other people from coming through a certain doorway, or whenever you want to block the exit passage of the enemy who is trying to run. Also, they are useful at the end games of scrims, as here most of the enemies will be camping and forcing them out is very important. Also, these grenades do damage over time, and hence you can actually track the player even when they go out of your line of sight, as the damage marker on them will be ticking as long as they are in the thermite grenade. Finally, the last tip regarding the grenade is how you can avoid them. You can easily jump over the wall of fire if you are at a higher elevation than it, or if you are using a legend like Valkyrie, you can basically use your jetpack to skip it. So use this to your advantage to push through enemies whenever they are trying to block the path with the thermite grenade. Coming to the bonus tip, if you look at the bottom of your screen, it will tell you how many different types of grenades you are actually carrying. If you are having an icon like this and no lines on the borders, it means that you are carrying only one type of grenade. If you are having one line on the right, it means that you are carrying one different type of grenade. And finally, if you have the lines at both the left and the right, it means you are having all three types of grenades. However, regarding what type of grenade you are actually carrying cannot be noticed unless you open the grenade wheel. Alright, so comment down below what your favorite type of grenade is in Apex Legends, and also tell me what all tips in this video you didn't know. Also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to my channel so that you won't miss any future tips and tricks videos. And check out my other videos by clicking here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.